Hello, welcome to Mr. Parsons' first grade for 2017-2018. This is the open house presentation, and it's just meant to help you get familiar with some of the things that I do in first grade and some of the procedures and processes that I follow. We'll get started first. It's about an 8 to 10 minute presentation, and the first we talk about are 3 B's, which is our rules of the school. The 3 B's are be responsible, be respectful, be safe, and it's a positive reinforcement program. I provide visual reminders for the students throughout the day. They have 3 B's up on the front of the board. Um, if we keep the 3 B's up with each of the rules on them, then they get a B on their beehive for the class. Once they add up 20 B's, they get an extra recess time or movie party to go for their prize. Individually, I do punch cards, and when the students fill up their punch cards, it's when I catch them being responsible, maybe getting their work done, quickly and carefully, having their homework always done, doing their job in class, being respectful, raising their hand when they want to speak, talking politely, doing, helping a classmate out, listening to other adults, and being safe. I may catch them walking in the hall or being safe in the classroom or the playground or um, the cafeteria. And when they get 20 punches on their card, they get to pick an individual prize as well. So they could pick a prize out of the prize box. They get to go in the quiet zone, which is the tent in our room for the day. They get to work back there. Or they can pick lunch with me up in the library. And we get to talk and I get to know them a little better, and it's a one-on-one time with them where they can calm down a little bit at lunch and have a nice lunch with us. So I like to focus a lot on desired behavior in the classroom and throughout the school building, and do a lot with positive reinforcement. There are some situations where we do have to focus on consequences, and so I just follow a school-wide program that we do to promote continuity throughout the grades. They do get a verbal warning first if they're behaving in a way that's not desired. Their cars are always on green on our green light in the back. If they move to yellow, that means they lose 5 minutes of recess. If they move to red that day, they lose half of the recess. And if they move to what we call red plus above the red light, they lose all of their recess and they have to do a stop and think sheet that needs to be signed and sent home. Academically, um, having fluent readers in first grade is one of our main goals. Our approach is there is a method to our madness. Our approach is doing a lot of phonemic awareness, which is listening to sounds, manipulating sounds, saying sounds, a lot with rhyming, syllables, beginning, middle, and ending sounds in words. And then working with phonics, which is their rules such as short A, digraphs like TH and SH, and then moving on to sight word recognition each week too, where we give them a list of sight words that either the words don't follow a phonics rule, or we just didn't get to that rule yet. And those words, they're going to come home as flashcards, and they need to just know them as soon as they see them. These 3 areas then work towards what we call fluency, which is the pace at which you read and how smooth you read. And our goal then is for you to read smoothly and finally have that comprehension, which is the understanding of what you read. So for academically, for reading, we have the McGraw-Hill reading series. It's Common Core based and aligned. It has done a great job of increasing the rigor for all of our students. We emphasize a lot of nonfiction and informational selections, and it also does a great job with phonics and giving them a great building block for phonics. This year we have implemented a new math program called Pearson Envision 2.0. It's brand new, and it's Common Core aligned. But the huge emphasis that you're going to notice when your child, brings work home is what we call productive struggle and problem solving. So the students are going to be faced with a problem each day at the beginning where they may have to collaborate or come up with their own solution and use the tools that we've taught them to come up with those solutions. So I do a lot with proving your answers. Other than just giving me an answer, I do a lot with having the students be either able to write it, draw it, or tell me how they came to a conclusion and how they came to an answer. So we'll have a little bit of, there'll be some bumps in the road with that. Just be patient with us. Teachers are going to have some bumps in the roads a little bit, and the students will too, I'm sure. But in the end, it'll be very productive for us and positive. We are going to continue this year with accessing the code as part of our dyslexia and early intervention pilot program. It does a lot with phonological awareness and phonics. It's taught every day in addition to our regular reading and phonics instruction, and it helps us to individualize the instruction and differentiate it so that we can reinforce those phonics skills needed for first grade reading growth. It did a great job for us last year, and we're excited to have it again. My goal 1A, if my first goal is for your student to be fluent readers, then goal 1A is for me to communicate with you. I want you to know exactly what's going on every day. So I'll do a lot with sending letters home. Remind 101 did a great job last year with texting, progress reports, report cards, and I do send this weekly event schedule home every Friday for the next week. It'll look something like this. It'll give you exactly what we're doing each day of the week, what our goals are, what our specials are, when our tests are, and it talks about language arts and math. And I've had good feedback from that schedule to help you know what's happening. Homework, you'll have spelling and sight word homework every Monday night, reading and math practice every Tuesday night, and then they'll bring their textbooks home every Wednesday night. They'll also have spelling and sight word lists, and then they have a reading test on Fridays. And the homework's never meant to be, take all night for you. It's meant to be consistent for them, start to understand how to, complete assignments and be responsible, involve you at home. And it'll look something like this. This is what the spelling list will look like, that they'll have to learn how to spell. They always have a sentence. These are their sight words. And they look something like this. And these are the ones that you're going to cut out and use as flashcards. And then this is the homework sheet that you'll have to initial on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday nights. So everything is spelled out for you. And again, that's one of my main goals, is to make sure that we spell it out and so that there are no surprises for you. Let me see what I'm at here. Okay. All right, the grades in first grade are taken like this. They're 70 and above satisfactory, and we just do percentages. In reading, you have reading tests, sight word tests, homework and practice book selections. Spelling, you have spelling tests and homework. There's a homework sheet on Monday nights. And in math, we'll have independent checks and assessments. I also grade handwriting, and I'll explain more of that as we get to the conference. Handwriting is not a necessity. It doesn't have to be graded. I do it just to help them understand the importance of it. We'll be doing a lot this year with hybrid learning stations, and you'll be doing that. It's a great way of helping me to be able to differentiate for them and promote technology and STEM. I do a lot with promoting leadership, and I have 7 habits of great first grade graders that we do each month. September's Think Ahead, and then we start going with Picture the End in Mind, which is your goal. Top your list, put first things first, think win-win, think of others first, work together, and then practice makes excellence at the end. I just want to thank you in advance for all that you do. I know this is going to be a great year. When we work together as a team, you're going to be amazed at what your first grader does. It's my favorite grade that I've ever taught. And so I thank you for everything. I'm looking forward to a great year. And if you ever need anything, please let me know. Thank you.